It is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's start with the LOD expressions. First, I'm going to connect with the global superstore dataset this time. In the videos, I've used coffee chain, but here let's understand that topic using global superstore 2016 sales dataset. I'm taking orders. Are you all familiar with this dataset? So these are the fields. You can have a look here. We have order ID, order date. The screen is clearly visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have ship date, ship mode. Then we have the customer names, and most importantly, we need countries, states, cities. We have region also. And then we have category, subcategory, product name, and all the measures. Sales, quantity, discount, profit, and all that. We have used this data set in class also. So let's get started with the visualization. First, you need to know the different kinds of LOD, level of detail expressions, and why do we need this. Sometimes we want to display the calculation on a different dimension. Sometimes we want to include more than, like, suppose I'm including country, state, and city in my visualization. Okay, but I want to perform the calculation on a different dimension, right? So in that case, if I don't want to include the dimension in my view and want to perform the calculation using that dimension, we can use level of detail expressions, which are of three types: include, exclude, and fixed. In case of include, we have to include the dimension additional that is present in the view. Like suppose in the view I already have the country and state, and the additional dimension that I want to include in my aggregation is suppose city. So that I can include in my include expression, so that I do not include that dimension in my view. Okay, so if you have gone through that understanding LOD expressions video, in that I've provided you the basics overview of these three expressions. In case of exclude, that is opposite to include. In that, we will include, we will write that dimension in the exclude expression which we do not want to be in our aggregation results in the calculation. Okay, and fixed, in case of fixed, we fix one dimension and aggregation will be performed according to that dimension only. Shall we start now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start with the include. So you will understand it gradually when we build our visualization. Firstly, I'm going to select the country in the rows, and then I'm going to select the states. Okay, firstly, I'm going to create the hierarchy. Hierarchy is not created yet. So let's create the hierarchy here first. Now we can click on the plus sign to get the states. Then we can click on the plus sign to get the cities according to the hierarchy. Okay.
Class Zoom पे
Please mute your mics.
12
Right. So next, if I want to calculate the average sales according to city, so here I'm selecting sales, I'm putting in the text box, and here I'm changing this to
ग्रुप पे आया
average. You can mute your mics for now. If you want to ask anything, then you can unmute. Okay. So here we have the average sales. Now, what is the question that we want to solve? Let me just write it in a separate file. I want to calculate average sales in states by cities, computed by cities. So what is the meaning of that is, that's fine. I want to calculate average sales in states of different countries, but we want to compute the average by cities. Means over there, we need to calculate the sum of sales. Okay, means here we have the cities. Here you can see first is Afghanistan. So we've got Herat, Kabul. Then we will be having, we have the different orders for Herat and different orders for Kabul. I'll show you the data set, then you will be able to see that. Just a minute. I hope data set is visible to you now. So here you can see if I filter out a particular city, like this is the country, and I'm going to filter out, suppose the first one is Afghanistan. Let's filter this out. Here in Afghanistan, we have the city, like suppose we have Kabul. Now you can see in Kabul, we have the different orders, and we are given with the sales of those orders here in case of Kabul. First, what do we want to do is, I want to compute the sum of sales in Kabul, wherever we have the city Kabul, we want to calculate the sum of sales, and means I want to compute that for all the cities, for Kabul and whatever other cities, Jalalabad, all the cities that we have in the Afghanistan, we want to calculate the sum of sales, and then we want to calculate the average. So means in the question that we want to solve requires the aggregation being performed on the two dimensions. So we want to calculate average sales in states by cities. Okay, where we will be calculating the sum of sales in each city, and then we want to compute the average. And we want to perform, our visualization will be based on states. The dimension will be state, but the aggregation will be based on the another dimension. In the visualization, I do not want city, but in the aggregation, we want another dimension. This is where we can use LOD expressions. Okay, so let me get back to the Tableau workbook. Right. So I hope this is clear to you. What do we actually want to perform? So I will compare that with the average sales. Here we have got the average sales in city, average sales in Herat, Kabul, all these cities in different countries. So let's write the LOD expression using include. I'm going to create a calculated field here. So we are going to include city. Whenever we are writing LOD expressions, we have to write this curly bracket. And then the keyword include. Then what do we want to include is city. Next column. And next I want to compute the sum of sales. Okay, we have included the city. Now the meaning of this expression is whatever dimensions we have in the view, this particular dimension will be additional. Okay, if we do not put city in the view, it doesn't matter. Aggregation will always be performed according to the city in addition to the dimensions. If we do not have state, then the aggregation will be performed in all the cities in Afghanistan, all the cities in Albania, Algeria, and so on. Right? So this will be the additional dimension in the aggregation. So apply this and okay. Now I'm going to bring this. Please do not write here. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and speak to me also, right? Okay. So next, I'm going to select this include city and put it here. Here we have got the average sales, and I want to compute average from this. Okay, so this is the average sales in city, and this is the average sales according to the dimensions which are present in the view plus the cities. Here only average has been calculated. Here first sum has been calculated, then average. Okay, firstly sum, then average. Now according to the question that I had written in the notepad file, I have to remove this city. This is what I wanted. We wanted to compute the average sales by state, and we wanted to do that according to the city. So this is the average sales that we regularly compute, the average sales of a state, by simply selecting this sales, putting in the label, and here we have got the average sales. Average sales in Herat, average sales in this city, right? But here, the value is different because the additional dimension, which is city, is used in the calculation. Firstly, all the sales were summed up and then the average is calculated. Now, if I remove state from here, now what is this? This is the average sale in country, $394. So that might be a number. So this is 243, 184. But why we're getting this in 1,000 is, firstly, whatever cities do we have in Afghanistan, all those sales were summed and then average was calculated. So in this, the dimension which is present in the view is country, and the additional dimension is city, which is not in the view but in the calculation. So this is about include. I hope this is clear to you, how we computed this. Please write in the chat box so that I can explain you the next fixed one, fixed expression. Okay, good. Okay, so let's create another one which is fixed. So let's get back the visualization that we were having before. Next is fixed. How fixed differs is you will get to know once we write a fixed expression. Okay, here I'm going to write fixed, create a calculated field. So this is fixed city. We're going to fix city and start with the curly bracket. Okay, so fixed expression cannot be limited to this one. When we are writing fixed expression, we have to include all the hierarchy. We have to provide all the dimensions which are in the hierarchy. Means in the country we have a state, in the state we have a city, right? So there can be the same name of a city, right? So in case of fixed, it will not understand the partitioning according to the city. So in order to make the fixed understand about the partitioning, in this way you might not get the same result. You might get or you might not, depend on the data set. But while using fixed, you need to provide the hierarchy, which is country, then state, then city, and you need to separate all these dimensions using comma. So got fixed, country, state, city. Okay, now this is the dimension city, the finer most. So the calculation will be performed according to city here. Apply this. Okay, we will get the same result using fixed. So you can see the results are same for both. But where is the difference in using, where to use fixed and where to use include, and what do we need to include when we're using the fixed expression? Okay, next consider the another scenario where I want to check for these sales in different product categories. Okay, so now I'm going to bring category in the column. So here you can see we have got three kind of category: furniture, office supplies, and technology. Now, in case of include expression, the sales are customized according to the dimension. Here you can see in case of Kabul, the average sales in state by city is for furniture is this, right? For office supplies is 2908, for technology is 3791. But have you checked this for the fixed? Fixed, it's same, still 16951, 16951, 16951. So this is because fixed expression has not included category while calculating this value. So include expression is dynamic. Include expression changes as the view changes. But in fixed expression, whatever dimensions we have mentioned, that remain fixed for the aggregation. Now, for include, what has happened is, okay, let's check the include expression once. In include, I have just mentioned city. Okay, so it means that in this calculation, city will be included additional to the dimensions on the view. So I've already have the country, state, and category additional. So it changes dynamically according to that, and all the values have changed. But in case of fixed, if I show you the calculation, here you can see we have mentioned country, state, city, but not the category. So this was fixed for this. So let's include category and fix it. Now the category is also in the aggregation. So this means that fixed can be tedious when we are working with more dimensions. When we have more dimensions in the view, we have to include all those. However, with include, we can just include the one dimension on which we want to perform the aggregation. Okay, so apply this, use it. And now you can see the fixed expression has changed. And now it's giving us the correct results. Right? Now, suppose I remove category from here. And now I want to show you another difference. I've removed category and I want to change the fixed expression. Why? I'm going to edit the fixed expression and I want to remove category because I don't want to include category here. Now we just have the aggregation will be performed at the city level. That's fine. Means what I want now is I do not want category to be participating here. So we have the fixed column, include column, and the average sales so that you can make a comparison. We can also remove the city if you want, because now it is fixed. That doesn't matter city is part of the view or not. So next is I'm going to include a filter which is ship mode. I'm putting ship mode in the filter. Let's customize this and want to remove all. Okay, so now if we select something here, like if I'm selecting first class and standard class, you can see that the include expression is changing, but the fixed one is not changing. You can see, I know the records are changing, there might not be the value for that particular record, but here you can see the fixed one is same and the include is changing, right? So this means this is for Kabul. If you select it, Kabul, it's still 16951. So this means that fixed LOD expression does not respond to the dimensional filters. I'll show you a slide. Give me a second. Here you can see we have the dimension filters here, and fixed LOD lies before the dimension filters, and include and exclude LOD lie after. So this means that when we are using dimension filters, fixed LOD will not change, will not respond to the change in dimension filter, but include and exclude LOD will change according to dimension filter. This is what we are getting on Tableau. Tableau screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
On which we were working, the same one is visible or not?
No, ma'am, it's the home screen
Okay, now
of Tableau.
it's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will you please write in the chat box if till here it's fine, till here the concept is clear to you? Okay. Okay, so this was about clear, good. This was about include and fixed. Next is, it's not like that you can use it on tables. You can also use these on maps. Will be very useful when you are using map and you just want to visualize state and you want to bring calculation of the city. So you can use these expressions on maps also. Okay, so we will be creating map for the next one. So next is exclude. Some of you are having difficulty in exclude. Okay, for exclude, I'm going to create a map. For that, I'm going to put country in the filters. And I'm going to select Australia because this is a huge data set. So let's just examine one country. And now I'm going to select country and put in this workspace area. It's taking bit time. Sorry for this. Don't know why it's taking time. Okay. So this is the map for Australia. Let's bring in the state and city. Okay, now the question here is, and here we want our visualization to the city, means I want to visualize the cities. That's okay. Like we are having it. We can put city in the color like this. But I want the aggregation to be performed at the state level. What had happened in case of include is we had kept the view at state level and aggregation was performed on the city level. Here I want the view to be the city level and aggregation I want to perform at the state level. Okay, so here in order to do that I need to exclude city from the aggregation, because what will happen, okay, I'll show you what will happen. So suppose I'm calculating the sum of sales here. Here these are all the states. Okay, city, let's remove city. Okay, so here you can see in this particular state, here we have got the sum of sale. Here we have got, right? So we have got sum of sales according to state. But I want to view cities also, right? But aggregation to be performed at state. But so when I will bring city, suppose I've brought city here. So what will happen? Aggregation will also change. Then I will get the sales according to the city. Okay, using regular calculations, you will not get the sales according to state. For that, we need to write exclude expression. Okay, so let's understand that from, let me go to another, let me create another sheet and then I'll explain what we will try to achieve on that map. So here country I'm selecting is Australia first. And I'm going to put country in the rows. Then we are going to put state and city. Okay, and next I'm going to calculate the sales. Right. So what here we have is, here we have the sum of sales in city, but I want to compute this total according to state. What I want is, I want to compare this particular city's total versus this total of sales achieved in the complete state. So for that, I'm going to go to analytics, going to total, I'm adding in the subtotal. So what this means now is all the cities are summed up to get us this value. So this total is now the sum of sales in New South Wales. So this total is in Canberra. Then we have is this total is in Northern Territory. So I want to compare Alice Spring cities total with the total achieved in state. Got it? So now I'll keep this for now. So let's go back to the visualization. Now I need to exclude city from the aggregation. So write a calculated, create a calculated field and write an exclude expression. Going to create a calculated field. So this is exclude city. and calculate the sum of sales. Here I've got this calculation, and now I want to bring this to tooltip. Okay, because there is no means of putting it on the label, because on the label I'm already having the sum of sales in that city. So it will be better if I get the sum of sales of the state on the tooltip, so that we can analyze while hovering over the map. So let's select exclude city, and I'm going to put in the tooltip. Okay, so now we can see in the tooltip I've got exclude city, which is 111090 for Western Australia. So this exclude city is same in a particular state. This will remain same. You can see here. Okay, let's check for South Australia. Here we have 75553, and it's same. That value is same for all. Okay, so let's go back to the sheet now, and now let's check it. I've checked for South Australia. So this was the number that we were getting. So what has happened is, let me select this exclude city, and let me put it here. So this is what has happened. This is exclude now. Exclude has excluded the city from the view and given us one single value against the record in that particular state. Wherever we have Northern Territory, all the points will show us the sum of sales in Northern Territory like this, and excluding city in the aggregation, which is still present in the view. This is what has happened here. I hope exclude is clear to you now. Okay, now what's this ATTR? So this means that we have a dimension in the view, but the aggregation is not performed at the same level. So we were doing exclude LOD. Okay, I was explaining you the meaning of ATTR. What we have done is we have created a map, and the granularity is city. We want to display city, or you can even display state. States are also visible, right? And we wanted to compare the sales in city, sum of sales in city versus the sales in state. Okay, for that we have created this exclude expression. This was the expression that we had created, and now we want to compare those sales. So for that we have brought this exclude city on the tooltip so that it can be readable from the tooltip. Okay, and who will tell me that in the last session I had explained you the meaning of ATTR? Who will tell me what is the meaning of ATTR? Here in exclude, it's written ATTR. Who knows the meaning of this keyword? And why do we have this in this case only? No response. This ATTR means that the aggregation is performed at another level, another dimension. Here in the view, we might think that whatever we are getting to see on this calculation, which is in the exclude city, that's according to the city. But actually this expression is not giving us the results according to the city. It's giving us the result at an upper level, at another dimension, which is higher to the city, and that is state. Okay, so now let's edit the tooltip to make it readable.
Ma'am, can you explain ATTR again?
Yes. ATTR means, just a minute. Can I edit this tooltip? Then I'll explain you again. Okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So here we are writing city has sold the sum of sales out of in the state. So what we've done is city name, city has sold. What the city has sold, that is sum of sales. What the state has got, that is this expression. Okay, let's apply this. Now you can see here, this particular city has sold 3925 out of 111090 in Western sales. Here you can see this city has sold and this. Okay, the meaning of ATTR here is that, see, on the map we have got the cities. Okay, and here the aggregation is performed at an upper level, which is state level. Okay, so the dimension at which the aggregation or calculation is performed, that is higher than the dimension which is in the view. Okay, so this is about the aggregation which is performed. Just a minute, I'll show you something so that you just a minute. I'll show you the syntax of that. The browser is able to you, so you can have a look on there. So ATTR aggregation indicates there are multiple values, but only one when one was expected. So this means that on the view, on our map, what we are seeing is, we are seeing the aggregation is performed at state level when it was expected at city level, right? Who is asking the question?
It was mine.
Yeah, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is expected, it's different. What aggregation is performed, it's different than expected. Okay, fine. Now, so this was about the exclude expression. Do you have any doubt in these three now? Include, exclude, and fixed? Anyone? Can you use these now? These can be helpful, especially on the maps. Will you be able to use these in your analysis? Good.
If we get
And
some more practice, then we can.
yes, actually, you don't have to be confused. You just need to know the difference between these three, where to use, and the functionality. Exclude is totally opposite to include. And include and, okay, yes, one more important thing, include and fixed both respond to the dimension filters. Here also, if I select ship mode, and if I put this in the filter, unlike fixed, exclude changes when we change something in the dimension filter. Here I have selected, so now you can see the values are changing. You check for this Bunbury city, so it was 3735. Now it's 3925. So exclude expression also respond to the dimension filters. Okay. So include and exclude both respond, and fixed does not respond to dimension filters. So I hope this topic is clear to you. I have already shared the video links with you, and I'll also share this one with you. Okay, this live class link with you, with your friends who haven't were not present in this class. Okay, so let me tell you one more topic: trend lines. Let's do that also. Creating sparklines in Tableau. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So yes. So next is time series analysis and creating sparklines. So why do we create sparklines in Tableau is when we want to compare the data, when we want to compare the data over time. Okay, the time can be the years, can be the months, can be the years and months both. Okay, and we want to fit that particular chart in the smaller area. Okay, where we just have to notice the trend, whether that trend is rising or it is declining. What is the nature of the trend? So this can be for the prices, whether you want to check for the prices, whether the prices have hiked according to the years, or they have fallen, or the sales, right? So when you want to check for the measures according to time, right? So sparklines can add a different context to your dashboard. You can also include sparklines to the dashboard. We will create a mini dashboard today where we will include the sparklines also, right? So this is again Superstore data set. Okay, so let's create sparklines for this. What we want to see is we want to check for the sales, some of the sales for different countries according to year. Okay, so let's check for different countries. I'm going to select country in the rows, and I'm going to put order date in the columns. Just a minute. So let's extract month, because this is 2015 data set. Let me check for that. Yes, this is 2015 data set. So I want to extract month so that we can perform monthly analysis. Okay. So time series can include either weeks, quarters, months, years. So I'm going to select month. So here we have got the months, and I'm going to select country now. Next, we want sum of sales. Just a minute. So this is the chart we got. Here we have got all the months, and we want to see how these different means how sales changes in these different countries in different months. Okay, so in which month, here you can see in the month of June sales are highest, and in the month of November also for Australia. Now you can see here, you can check that the sales looks lower in Japan and Malaysia in Japan. Okay, but
Ma'am, it is showing the map of Australia. It's not showing the screen in which you are
just a
doing.
minute, just a minute. Let me change the share actually. So here on Zoom, we have to change the shares. Why didn't you tell me before?
Thought it was lagging.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It does lag. Here on Zoom, it does lag. You see the changes after some time or
Ma'am,
not?
now it's fine.
Okay, yes. Let me create it again. Let me create it again. Okay, don't worry. So this is the data source, Superstore data set. So this is 2015 data set. I'll provide you this if you're not having this. Who cannot hear anything? Nikhil? Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me, Nikhil? Please write in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear. Fine. Okay. So what I was saying is, okay, have you understood the concept, the basics? What I have talked about Sparklines? Okay, when we want to analyze the trend over the time. So this can be the period of years, can be the period of months, right? So for that, I'm going to drag in order date here in the columns. So this is only 2015. So let's extract the month. We want to perform the monthly analysis. So all the months. Next, I am going to select country, put in the rows. Okay, so next sales and put it here. Okay, so this is the trend we have got. Now you can see some of the, like for these countries, we have got the trend which is looking like this. The reason is that, so this is showing us that the sales are very low. That's fine. The sales are low as compared to this, but we want to analyze these countries' sales. For that, let's change this to individual axis so that all these charts adjust according to individually, right? So this chart will have its own axis. This chart will have its own axis. For that, I'm going to right click, edit this axis, and I want independent axis ranges for each row. Okay, so that the chart covers proper space in that and we get the trends individually. Now you can check out. See the difference of this, right? Now we can easily check. We were checking for Japan, right? So in case of Japan, earlier this trend was not visible because the axis was one axis for all the charts, but this chart will have its own axis so that we can check out the trend that's going on, right? So for Japan, you can check out the sales maximum in the month of October and least, or this is least in the month of January and in the month of July. Okay. Now, next is what we can do. I told you that the benefit of using Sparklines is that we can fit in a smaller area. So let's fit this in the smaller area. So I'm going to fit height. Okay. Now all the trends are adjusted according to the countries. So we can also minimize this, like I mean, collapse this. Okay. So next what we want in this chart is we want to point the last sales. Okay. We have already plotted the sum of sales, but let's plot the last sales and put it over this chart so that we check out what's the number here at the last. Okay, let's draw the point or the marks here. For that, we need to write a calculated field, create a calculated field. And here we are creating last sales. So for that, let's write a formula here. So what we're doing is writing if statement, if last is 0, then Zn. So Zn is a function which gives us null value, which gives us 0 if this is null. If this is not null, it will provide us the value that we are going to write. And here I'm going to write sum of sales. If that last value is 0, then it's null, it's going to give us 0. Otherwise, sum of sales. And here we have to write end. Okay. So then apply this. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this last sales here as a dual axis chart. Clear? So next I need to synchronize. Whenever we are creating the dual axis chart, we need to synchronize these two. Now it's synchronized and we are able to see the marks. If this is not visible, like green is not visible, change the color. Okay, wait, let's change the color from here, from this legend. The last sales, let's make it orange. Now you can check out the last sales in different countries like this. Okay, and giving another dimension to this chart. Next is, we do not require this axis. So says this last sale, if you do not want this description, as we just want to note the trend, we can go ahead and hide this header. If you do not want this axis as well, you can go ahead and hide this header. So if this is required, the months, we can keep this, right? So these are the Sparklines, how we can use in the dashboard. So let's drag in the country here. And let's drag in the country in the color and change it to filled map. So we have got the map. Next, let's do, so this, okay, so instead of just keeping a map for the country, we can select profit maybe. Let's select profit and put in the color. Now we can check out the darkest one. So this is having maximum profit, then China, these are having negative losses, right? So this map is telling us about the profit and losses in different countries. So we have got this map. So next is, let's calculate the sum of sales by category. So I'm going to select categories. You can perform any other analysis also, right? So that we get build a dashboard. Next, I'm going to select sum of sales, put it here. Or we can calculate the average sales. Then we can analyze this by using segment. So here we have got 3 segments: consumer, corporate, and home office. Okay, and we were analyzing the sales in these 3 segments according to category, sales category wise. So very basic charts. So main was these, the Sparklines. Okay, so now we can create a dashboard. Here we can bring the sheets. Next we can bring this chart. Next is our Sparklines. So we can adjust these accordingly. Okay, so now we can apply filter over there. Now if I see that in India, the profit is maximum. So we can click on that and we can analyze the sparkline for that particular country, or we can also make the comparison by checking out the profit and losses in the map for all the countries like this. Here we can check out the sales in India and we can find out in which month the sales were highest in India and as compared to other countries. So was this helpful? Any doubt in this? So I've taught you relatively easy topic than LOD expression. So don't get scared of that. Anyone else is having doubt? Preetam, it's fine now? Okay. So because according to the calculation, if we had not got the plots, that's why it's showing us the null value. So is that fine now? Any other thing you want to ask? Have you watched all the tutorials? You have to perform those assignment questions as well. I'll provide you the solution of last assignment also. Not all. You have to do that. Okay. And yesterday I had provided you assignment questions on include or exclude. Those who were having doubt, Vishakha, Vishakha was saying that she was having confusion in include and exclude. I hope her confusion is clear now, and please solve the questions I'm giving you. Practice. Okay, good. So this time only 11 participants. In the last class there were nearly about 20 people voted in LPO live that they will attend. Anyways, whenever we are having live class, be present in the class. You can get your doubts cleared in this class if you have any. Okay.